Hey guys, welcome back to another lesson. This is Mavuto. In today's lesson, we are going to discuss about democracy. We are going to look at the meaning, forms, and key features of democracy. Let's begin. So the word democracy comes from two Greek words, demos, which means people or citizens, and kratos, which means power. It can also mean rule or authority. So the word democracy basically means rule by the people. Abraham Lincoln, this is the former US president, he defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people and for the people. Thomas Dyer, Seeley, this is an American scholar. He defined democracy as a government in which everyone has got a share. Now we can give a full definition of democracy. So democracy can be defined as a system of government in which the exercise of political power and authority is vested in people through their elected representatives. It has also been defined as a government by consent. Now let's look at forms of democracy. So there are two main forms or types of democracy. There's what we call direct democracy, which is also called pure democracy. And another one is called indirect democracy, which is also known as representative democracy. Now let's look at these forms of democracy in details. So let's start with direct or pure democracy. So this is the system of government whereby everyone is involved in the affairs of the country. Under this type of democracy, people themselves, they are the rulers and they are the ruled at the same time. They themselves make laws, enforce them, and decide cases according to those laws. This system of democracy existed in the city-states of ancient Greece and Rome. Some practices of direct democracy are still observed in Switzerland and in some states of USA. Indirect or representative democracy. So this is the system of government where citizens choose representatives to rule on their behalf. You see, after creation of large nation states, it became impossible for everyone to participate directly in the affairs of the state. So under this form of democracy, people choose a small number of representatives and give them authority to run the government. Since people rule through these representatives, we give this system the name of indirect or representative democracy. This is the most common form of democracy found across the world. Its emphasis lies on protecting the rights of not only the majority of people in the state, but also the minorities. Most of the representative democracies of the world consider themselves to be liberal democracies. This is because they value the needs of their individual citizens more than that of the entire state. This is why in countries like India and USA, it is difficult to proclaim the state of emergency. So now let's look at the common features of democracy. So the first important feature of democracy is the rule of law. This implies that no one is above the law, and it requires that all citizens observe the law and they are held accountable if they break it. Due process of law requires that the law should be equally, fairly, and consistently enforced. What does this mean? I'll give you an example. If a president commits murder today and another ordinary citizen commits murder today, according to the rule of law, these people should be treated equally according to the laws of land, regardless of their statuses or positions in government. So rule of law ensures equality before the law. It also ensures law and order and protection of citizens while enjoying their rights. Another important feature of democracy is the citizen participation. This means that citizens are part and parcel of what happens in their country. Citizens are part of decision-making process on matters that affect them. People should participate in the political process of their country. Independence of judiciary. In democracy, judiciary, which is one of the 3 organs of government that interprets the laws and decides cases, should be free from the control of other 2 organs of government. In other words, I'm trying to say that the decisions and pronouncements made by judiciary are not the subject to either executive or legislative control. Regular, free and fair elections. Regular elections ensure that citizens are not stuck with bad leadership, but that they have opportunity to throw out incompetent leaders through free and fair elections. Free and fair elections give the citizens a chance to choose leaders of their choice, as opposed to the rigging elections which return unwanted leaders to power. Elections are the main avenue for all citizens to exercise their power by choosing their leaders and giving their vote to the candidate whom they think can represent them best. Another important feature of democracy is the protection of human rights. You see, unlike dictatorships, democracies strive to protect the rights and freedoms of their citizens from abuse. These rights include right to life, right to liberty, right to own properties, freedom of assembly, freedom of association, freedom of expression, and freedom of movement. Political equality. All citizens in democratic government are accorded an equal opportunity to vote or to be voted for, provided that they are duly qualified to take part in political process of that country. Transparency. Transparency is also an important feature of democracy. To be transparent means that leaders allow for public scrutiny of what they do well in public offices. Citizens are allowed to attend public meetings and are free to obtain information on what happens in public offices, who makes what decisions and why. Transparency is a step towards accountability. Accountability. This is when elected leaders or public officials have to answer to the common citizens regarding their actions, decisions or indecisions during the time they are or they were occupants of public offices. Those found to be performing to the required standards, they are rewarded by their continued stay in offices, while those found to be lacking in one way or another, they are punished. Freedom of press. In democratic system of government, media houses, televisions, radios and newspapers, they are free to express their opinions or feelings through writing or any other means. Neutrality of state institutions. In democratic system of government, state institutions such as police service and army should be neutral. They should not be taking sides or be politically partisan. Popular consultation. A democratic government seeks people's opinions on its policies, decisions, and programs because they are the final beneficiaries of such programs. The existence of multiparty system. The existence of multiparty system is another feature of democracy. Multiparty system is a setup where there are more than 2 political parties contesting for power. The reasons for having multiple parties in democracy are to widen the pool for the best choice of candidate for political office, to offer alternative views to the government of the day as a result of the existence of oppositions, also to enable oppositions to act as a check on those in political offices. Another important feature of democracy is the separation of powers. This is a principle which states that government powers should be divided into 3 parts called organs of government, namely executive, legislature, and judiciary. These 3 organs of government must operate independently. This ensures checks and balances. Guys, that's the end of our today's lesson. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like and share my video with your friends. See you in my next lesson. Goodbye.